Hey Breakthrough, I'm Andrew Colley and I'm teaching these guys how to do two-step equations. So first of all, what is a two-step equation? Well, as its name may suggest, it's an equation that has two steps. But what's important is that these two steps are based on two operations that are in the equation. Let's look at an example. So here we have 6x plus 12 equals 18. There are two operations here. One is multiplication, where you have 6 times x. The other is addition, where you have x plus 12. And together that forms 6x plus 12. So this is what a two-step equation looks like. But how do we go about solving it? Well, what you have to do is take the inverse of these operations. So the inverse to addition is subtraction. The inverse to multiplication is division. And once you get that, you'll figure out what x is. So let's go through it together. Since we have 6x plus 12, what would we do first?
You could subtract 12 from each side.
Exactly, and you have to do it to each side so that the two sides remain equal to each other throughout the equation. So, good job, Liam. You subtract 12 from each side and end up with 6x equals 6. So now it turns into a single-step equation. That's the first step. Now the second step would be dividing 6 from each side, as you said, Liam. And as a result, you end up with x equals 1. So that's a two-step equation. The first step is here, where you subtract 12. And then the second step is here, where you divide by 6. And that's doing the inverse of both operations. And that's how you do a two-step equation. Do you guys have any questions before we try to do one ourselves?
No.
Makes sense.
Awesome. Okay, so here's another one. Let me just erase this. Here's another example. Here we have x divided by 3 minus 7 equals 0. So we haven't dealt with division and subtraction, but what do you guys think we would do? Remember that you have to take the inverses, and remember to do subtraction, or do the inverse of the subtraction, or the inverse of the addition before you do the inverse of multiplication, just because for now that will be easier.
We can add 7 to each side.
Good point, John. So if you add 7 to each side, you end up with x divided by 3 equals 7. And that's step 1. Now, what's step 2?
We can multiply by 3 on both sides.
True. Good job, Phoebe. So if you multiply by 3, then you end up with x, because the 3's cancel out, equaling 21. And now you know what x equals. That's a two-step equation. Nice job, guys. So if you have any problems remembering how to do a two-step equation, just remember...
Let me see you 1 2 step. Love it when you 1 2 step. Everybody
1 2 step.
Yeah.